Oh, is it? No, I was at one that like 7:30.
Absolutely. I know. I've been there. It's like I said, it's on my list. I call my back. I'm working on it now.
No, they just started doing their third meeting. Oh, that was cross country. She missed it by, oh my goodness.
Last meeting, Larry.
Yeah, 20 seconds. It's quite a
We were out there.
I haven't been to one of those running.
Yeah, so now they're in the thread. Now they're third meeting. Oh, they just never. I dropped the folding tab. Oh,
You know what, I was counting that was done by folks from, probably.
No, this was done by the folks up in
Yeah, and they talked about the stories.
I'm not gonna. I know, I'm bad. 2, 4, 3. That's the round. Oh. If you need copies, I think we have this one.
Yeah, well.
There you go. You'll go. Going from one meeting to the next.
Yeah, it looks like we're really doing a lot for your paper flying everywhere.
Sorry, guys. We just got done with one meeting, we're trying to get ready for the next one. Apologize.
Excuse me.
I haven't been involved in that. I've been involved in the community service. It's part of it, yeah. Our community service. Yeah. Oh, no.
Jason, you meditate?
You know.
Oh, okay, I just wanted
Did you do that, Jim? Oh, yeah. I know, so quick.
Thank you.
Call this meeting to order at 7:05.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, John.
Here.
Beverly. Here. Karen. Here. Susie. Here. Here. Yes, speakers. Are they good speakers? Yes, it's right here. The emblem. Hi, Karen. I need a motion. Okay. Let's go ahead with, Mr. Johnson.
Evening, everybody.
Hi, Dave.
I have yet to get my printing issues at the fire department figured out. I've emailed the monthly reports, so I'm just going to have to read it off the computer. For the month of March, We had a total of 26 calls. 3 were fires, 2 were for Lee Township, 1 was for South Haven. We had 17 medical calls, 1 vehicle accident with injuries, 3 grass fires, and 2 vehicle fires. Any questions?
What was that total again?
26.
I have a question for you, Dave.
Yes.
And this has to do with something I read for Chase. What is this pack that they gave to them that stops the blood clot? It's a little pack, and I wondered what that costs.
Don't know, we don't have that yet.
I know, I know you don't have it, but they got it. And
Okay.
I thought maybe you knew what it was.
I'm not as well versed in the medical end as JC is, so I will get with him and
I just wondered what
I'll
the
get you an
cost
answer
was.
next month, I'll let you know.
Yeah. It stops the bleeding instantly, is what it's.
Oh, quick clot, most likely what you're thinking of is quick clot. What do they call it? It's well, no, it's hemostatic agent is what it is. Basically, it works with, it's a type of medication that basically, almost like it induces, platelets to help the blood clot. It's usually in a package, or it's, within a 4x4 gauze type thing, and you can actually pack it inside the wound, and it'll help stop the bleeding. It's not a guarantee. So like gunshot wounds and things to the chest, neck, head, that type of thing, it's better for that than like an arm. They're pushing tourniquets now for the arms, legs, etc. Cost on it, I don't remember what it is. I looked at it a couple of years ago. I think it was like $80 per pack.
Per pack, yeah.
Yeah, per pack. So it's one-time use, obviously.
Now, was it a military?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was aware of that product, I just didn't know it was approved for civilian use.
Yeah. Some places are using them. We haven't seen them yet. In Michigan and Illinois, they're using them with the SWAT teams, and then any of the those tactical medic programs that they have, they've got them there. But almost everybody's using the tourniquets now instead. For now, tourniquets are about $30 a piece, and they're just as good. Usually, again, if an abdominal wound or those other ones, it won't really work for, but we're just packing those anyways and rapid transport. So.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, now, at budget time, you all had approved tablets for our 3 main trucks. Did some research, was getting prices back along $500, $700 for the tablets. Went to Verizon and talked to the rep at Costco up there in Kalamazoo, and for $150 through Verizon, we can get tablets.
That's quite a big difference.
Yeah, and they can do everything that the $700 tablets can do. We're going to increase our cell phone bill anyway because we have to enable these tablets to receive e-dispatch. So the cost of our monthly bill now, from what the information I was given by Verizon, is $120 per month, and we are on a 4 gig plan. So, Deputy, have you ever run out of internet on your phone?
I don't use the internet.
No, okay, because I've run out searching up stuff, for Lucas or whatever. I've run out of internet, and it's slowed down dramatically, and I use it for a hotspot while I'm working online on this. So, as I was talking to them, basically what we came up with is if we add 3 tablets to the plan, switch over to an unlimited internet plan, our monthly bill would go from $120 to $210. So that gives us unlimited internet plus 3 tablets for $90 extra a month. That bill would drop $18 per month after 2 years, and the tablets would be paid for at that point. A little bit more than 18 because they're $6.25, I believe, per month for each tablet until they reach $150 and they're paid off.
Actually, it'll be a little less than that. I'll make you happy because you split that phone bill with Jason.
Right, okay.
Your average monthly Verizon bill is usually, well, we just say 50 something for them and 60 something for yours. So
Okay.
combined, they're $125
okay, nice.
between the two.
Okay. So we're
Just so you
a little bit less anyway. So, you know, we're buying the $500, $700 tablets. We get one with all the apps loaded. Somebody already took the time to go to the Play Store and download apps. Pretty sure I can figure out how to do that on a tablet. I can do it on a phone for free. So I can get all that stuff loaded. Our plan is with these tablets is to put commercial pre-plans on them, and any of the 911 information that people call and get to dispatch, we'll have that on there as well. So if we're going to Betty's house at 3 a.m., we can type her name in and see if she's entered in there, and we'll have key holder information, location of whatever pets or, you know, anything like that.
Would there be like smart one?
Yeah, smart 911, yep. So basically what I'm asking is just a budget amendment to pay for the little bit of a jump in the bill that we'll have to get the tablets, because we would have had that anyway.
So the overall total is in the budget anyway,
Yes.
it's just moving
Yep.
it.
Yeah. We just need to move the $450 for the tablets out of the computer line, the $6,000 computer line, to somehow to the phone bill so we can pay that off, and then a budget amendment to take some money and actually add it to the phone service to add the line charges for the tablets.
One more thing, Dave.
Yes.
On Station 1, there's some cosmetic things I've noticed, but were you gonna put a sign out in front of that again? You got that big white thing laying.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks, John.
And the flag ain't flying.
Here we go. Okay. That sign has been a thorn for quite a while, and Stacy's just laughing. Quite a while ago, probably 2 years now, I've been dealing with a sign. Between us and TS Graphics in Southhaven, we've been going back and forth. She got hurt, couldn't do the sign. We got the sign erected. They lost our material. They came out, and one of the last times I talked to her, they were going to paint the sign blank with that white paint, the vinyl paint. I said, now you realize this aluminum is incredibly smooth, it's blah, blah, whatever. I said, is this stuff going to stick? Oh, yeah, no problem. We do this all the time.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see how well it stuck. So now, basically, we went back to, I sent her another email that said, you know, my fears were realized with the sign paint. I wanted the stick vinyl put on it, and then all her letters and stuff put on it. She's waiting till it warms up a little bit so she can clean that sign off, get the vinyl on it, and get everything finished.
You know, what will go on there, Dave?
We're going to have our number for burn permits. We're going to have the calls year to date, and just, you know, our emblem on top.
General information.
Yeah, our emblem on, or the call for burn permits on top, our emblem in the middle, and then the fire calls, annual fire calls year to date for fire and EMS.
Because that's your main
Will we
attraction.
still
going-
do burn, high, low?
Yeah, that's on there as well.
Yeah. Okay,
And I'm
fly to flag.
hoping to get it done this year. If we,
Tell J.C. Johnson, fly to flag.
that sign has been a headache.
Thank you.
Evening, everyone. For the month of March 2019, I traveled 1,364 patrol miles. There were 185 property inspections completed, 6 assists to the Sheriff's Department, 4 assists to other agencies. I completed 3 liquor inspections. I attended de-escalation training and RMS Interact Report training. I personally handled 40 calls in the month of March. For Columbia Township, there was a total of 148 dispatch calls. Those calls broken down by department: 16 fire, 39 EMS, 82 police, 8 animal control, and 3 wrecker. The police incidents go as follows: 4 traffic crashes, 2 frauds, 22 general assists, 4 alarms, 2 unknowns, 5 civil disputes, 2 runaways, 4 traffic violations, 5 suspicious situations, 3 medical assists, 1 health and safety, 3 assaults, 2 suicidals, 3 larcenies, 5 obstructing justice, 1 conservation, 2 B&E, 1 harassing TX, 1 abandoned hazard, 1 stolen vehicle, 4 fire assists, 1 extortion, and 2 MDOPs. On the B&Es, one of them turned out to be just a landlord-tenant dispute, so it was not actually a B&E. The other was a vacant cottage. It's used only in the summer months sparingly.
And the door was open.
And, well, they do not lock their cottage doors. And, the barn was broken into, not damaged broken into, but they simply just had latch locks on the doors. So someone simply just had to stick a thin screwdriver or anything in there and they could just pop the latches, so. There was a 4-wheeler taken and a chainsaw. Luckily, the owner was very smart and he had all his information for the 4-wheeler and the chainsaw. So I have all the serial numbers and everything entered into the computer system, so if it is ever located.
Got a line on your chainsaw.
He will get. No, because the one Tim showed me is not the one.
It's not the one?
It's not the one at all.
Oh.
For the blight report that I was told to do last month, in the last month, there were 4 total residences identified. 3 of those residences, the first residence, a dumpster was purchased and significant progress has been made. Not complete yet, but they did take the time to purchase the dumpster and have started to clean up their yard. The second address was on County Road 380. A camper has already been removed and several trash items were removed. And significant progress has been made. A residence here on Huron Street, all the tires were removed and 2 of 3 blight vehicles have already been removed. Again, not complete, but significant progress has been made. The fourth residence, I located that the owner currently lives in Chicago, and I'm trying to get a response from him by letter. Also last month, I was asked to make a list of all the dump sites in Columbia Township, so I traveled up and down all the roads making note of all the dump sites because the Van County cleanup crew will be here this month to hit those dump sites and pick up all the trash alongside the roads. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you're going out to 384, just the other side of 57th Street, there's a dozen tires sitting up there. Now, they're stacked, so that means to me, they weren't thrown there unless the guy that lives there stacked them. That's a lot.
Next to the road or at the house?
At the house.
Okay,
So, that's a lot of tires.
I
That's
understand.
at least a dozen of them sitting up there.
We have several residences right now that we're looking at, but we're going worst to least, so right now that'd be very low on the priority list.
12 tires would be low?
Compared to what we got out there, yes.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Then the other question I got is, they had a big article in the paper Sunday about, is it Nexion, the drug, preventer for opiates, that the South Haven police are trained on. I didn't know whether you guys got into that or not.
What exactly type of drug is it?
NAX.
It's Narcan or naloxone.
Oh, yes, we all have been given Narcan kits and we carry them with us and we've been trained, to give them to a person.
Now, is that an opiate overdose or is that just,
From the training that we received, we were advised that, if we believe it's an opiate overdose, we can use it, and if it turns out that it's not an opiate overdose, it will not hurt the person that's using it. And obviously, if it is, we were advised that unless it's too far along, that they should perk right up and start coming around and whatnot. But yeah, we are given kits, and if those kits are used, we have a form we fill out, and they replenish them right away. So
I see.
we've all been provided. We've also, he mentioned the tourniquet kits, we've all been provided with those also.
You got those too?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you, the associations are gonna have their meetings. You'll have Silver Lake, Saddle Lake, North Lake. You have done umpteen property checks for them people.
Mhm.
And I think that, you should give your report at the association meeting and let them people know just how lucky they are that we have what we have here between you and me and, the checks that are made. Because if I asked you how many break-ins occurred on that property from November to now, you would have very few, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Any of the properties, like I mentioned in one of the previous meetings, all properties that I've been given property check form for, I have not yet, in 4 years I've been here, had one be any of those residents.
Because they follow the rules and do what they're told.
I think they should get together at their meeting and come up with like some dinners for Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would just like to say that I think you're doing a great job with it. On top of everything else that you're responsible for in this township, you do a great job, and to have to drive every road in the township to look for somebody else's trash, I think that's, to me, it's going over and above.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta follow that. You're a great guy.
Yeah, Doug, a while back, Beverly and I were wondering about that gas tank, weren't we, Beverly, on that, the oil tank on that truck that cost $umpteen gazillion.
With the
yeah.
air commission, yeah.
And he said,
Not the oil
and he
can,
said,
oil can.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oil can.
You ready now?
Yeah.
Okay. Public defender, we've hired a fellow by the name of Chad Catalino as our public defender, which is split that between Allegan and Van Buren. He's gonna be hiring 2 assistant defenders, 1 part-time investigator, and the office personnel. And the office will also continue to hire local attorneys as is needed. I don't know if you guys remember, this is something that the state has dictated that we had to do, so we decided to get together with Allegan, save us a little bit of money. And that being said, the state of Michigan has provided $2.3 million to operate this office, plus a local match totaling $500,000 for the 2 counties. Jail staffing, we hired 2 more correctional officers. The funds came about because of our RAISE program, which is one of the drug programs that we have where we take inmates into the jail. And when we first started this, we asked that we only take in local surrounding counties and then adjacent kind of, we don't get anybody from like Detroit, Pontiac, places like that. We want to just keep local people. So, and it's really going good. We've had graduates out of that, so it's a good thing. We decided at our last meeting, we had some folks come to us and ask us to sell some property that the county owns on Lake Michigan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Syndicate Park out there by South Haven. 100 or so years ago, John might remember this. Oh, sorry, John.
No, you're not.
The Chicago Tribune gave lots away if you subscribe to the paper for so long. They're like 50 by 100 foot lots, and eventually some people couldn't do anything with them, so the county got a lot back. Well, somebody wanted to do some swapping and buying and trading, and we just decided, we didn't want to do that. It actually was a 4-2 vote, and 1 person was absent, so it was a little controversial. We approved a request from the sheriff to upgrade equipment for 4 patrol cars at a cost of $12,000 for each of those. Those cars have not been upgraded for 10 years. The equipment hasn't been upgraded for the cars for 10 years. Mental Health Authority, we appointed Tom Coles, Noel Salgado, and Kerry Fall for 3-year terms on the Mental Health Board. Southwest Michigan Planning Commission, we appointed Matt Newton from Decatur as a citizen rep to the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission Board for the term of 1 year. And also, we decided it was time to renew some personnel policies that the county knows, and some of those had not been looked at in 4 years. So we thought maybe it was time to do that. So.
Well, we always know that happens, huh?
Yeah.
I feel better now.
Kirsty, do you have any idea how many people the public defender's office serves a year? I was just wondering if you knew off the top of your head.
Basically, like to the state, something that they mandated that we do, so.
I think it's a good, I mean, if you're poor and you've got no money, just because you're arrested doesn't, you know, you're not always guilty, so it's good to have an option.
And this weekend involved with that, there's some of the procedures now that happen on weekends, so somebody, doesn't get taken in on Friday, they have to sit in jail the whole weekend. They have one of these folks and also.
Timely,
Yeah, and, a prosecuting person also, so,
somebody's looking more at the Marine.
yeah.
And you said you're joining with Allegan County?
Right,
Is
yeah,
that right?
it's CAD is gonna be over both counties, and so it's just a cost, savings measure. But, it allows us to do that, the state can, so it's okay when something handed down, we're gonna do that, we're good. And I would like to, pass on to Doug, if you would,
That's fine.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, John.
You bet.
Doug?
Road commission crews have been, busy tree trimming until April 1st. They had to stop because of the bat that lives in the tree. And they can't cut, well, they can cut dangerous trees in the summer, but as far as just going down the road like they were doing on 388, they had to stop that now.
Am I the only one that doesn't know?
Pardon?
For real? I mean, what are you- Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's a bat that's an endangered species
Oh, yeah.
Really?
that lives in
Okay, I
the
figured when
loose
it
bark.
was not endangered.
Yeah,
Okay.
so April 1st until, I don't know
It happened on
when.
April 1st too, I think.
So there's a certain time of year where the bat lives there and.
It's migrated back north. It moved south for the winter and it's migrated back north, so starting April 1st until probably October or something.
And this happens, this is an all the time thing, so you guys know that, you
Yeah.
plan around it.
It's a law,
Yeah.
it's an endangered species that they're trying to protect. So they were doing some heavy tree work on 380 east of Breedsville, so that has stopped. We can handle trees that are a danger to the roads, like, you know, a dead tree hanging over. They can take care of something like that, but just to go down the road and take everything out, especially if it's a federally funded project, then they really watch you, so you're not maybe killing a bat. Road graders, they've got, I think they've been through Columbia Township, every road's been graded, at least with the truck. If it hasn't been graded with the if it was graded with only a truck and not the grader, then the grader will be back to hit it. But they did get over them all once, to my knowledge, they were supposed to have by now. Hot mix plant is open, so they're filling potholes with hot mix now instead of the coal patch. So it'll last longer. Pazer ratings they're working on Pazer ratings countywide. Those are due this year. And, in Bloomingdale Township, may affect some of you folks, 388, halfway between Bloomingdale and Gobles, will be closed, starting sometime this week, for a new culvert under the road out there where the creek crosses on the first big curve, where you make the curve to make you start going south if you're going to Gobles. So, 388 will be closed for probably a good week or so out there. They'll be detoured. So you might want to avoid that area if you're going that way. And I think that's about it.
There was a question in the paper Sunday about invasive weeds, knotweed and stuff like that. Have you guys run into any of that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, they know where they're at and they spray them every year. Trying to take care of them.
Thing, if you can cut it off, it's gonna go, you can just about do anything with that
You
stupid.
cut it off, it just multiplies faster.
Yeah.
You have to hit it with herbicides at a certain stage of its life in the summer.
So it's a constant get-at thing, huh?
Yep.
Thank you for filling them potholes too.
Really, I'm sure there's a lot of it.
And I drove 380 yesterday around Jeff Lake and on to Breedsville, and it actually was in pretty good shape. I went through there, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and it happened to me the grader was working that day. And, it was still pretty decent yesterday.
I was gonna say about, we had a sign that said bump for this railroad track. And they took it away. I'd like to get it back because, you know, it's a bump.
I'll bring it up.
I wish you would.
We have a meeting Thursday night, so I'll bring it up.
Yeah, you say, we'd like to have that sign back.
Right here.
Good evening, I'm Steve Lauder from Pride Care. I'm here to be your representative, hopefully, for the rest of your board meetings. You had 18 calls for the month of March, excuse me. You had 10 priority 1 calls for an average time of 12 minutes and 6 seconds. We had 1 call that was due to weather, at an 18-minute and 40-second response time. And after they did get there, the house numbering system was down a fire lane. It was kind of messed up. Apparently it had no house numbers.
Yeah.
So it's a good indication, not just in your area, but all areas. People get house numbers done on their house, on their mailboxes, both sides, because it's running ambulance, running fire calls, and Chief Johnson can agree with that. Doesn't matter which way you're coming. It's nice to see both directions on the mailbox. Another call was 20 minutes and 25 seconds. That was due to distance. Another call was 14 minutes and 53 seconds. That was because it was a second call. Another one was 18 minutes and 28 seconds. That was due to weather.
Are these code ones?
All they told me was weather, so I couldn't tell you it was snow, slushy.
No, I don't mean that. I'm talking about.
What priority?
Priority 1.
Yeah, all on priority 1, yes.
All priority 1, 20 minutes.
Another was 14 minutes and 38 seconds, and it was distance from station 2. On the priority 2 calls, there were 6 of them, averaging 12 minutes and 59 seconds. There were 2 priority 3 calls, averaging 14 minutes. Total of 18 calls for the month. Average response time is 12 minutes and 36 seconds. So one of the things that Pride Care has taken into effect is moving a truck into the city of Bangor so they can help with the response times, do the response times they had in February. They're going to keep doing this in the daytime hours to improve the responses. Also, congratulations, Chief Johnson, and to you, the board members, for your Lucas device. It is a very good device. It does help saves wear and tear on your people, and it does help when doing CPR. Also, you were talking a little bit earlier about the quick clock device. Bill had looked that up, and it's $40 a packet.
What's in a packet?
One time. Am I right, Bill? One time?
Correct.
So that's my report to you folks. Do you have any questions or concerns? I mean, Bill's here tonight too.
I have a question.
Yes.
What time of day so you said you're gonna park a truck in Bangor during the day to help, what time?
8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m.
No, I mean, what time of day, is there an average time of day where the more serious calls come in, like strokes, heart attacks, horrible car accidents, or is there no average for things like that? Is it totally random?
Yeah, really no rhyme or reason. A lot of times when you're looking at a heart attack, you're probably looking about dinner time or lunchtime, for whatever reason, afternoons, as well. But again, they can happen in the middle of the night while somebody's sleeping. It truly is it's just there. You can also look at population. So if the population of the community goes from, say, 1,000 overnight to 12,000 during the day, then obviously, you get more population, you'll have more calls during the day. And we just don't see a swing here at all, whether it's that particular. Unfortunately, a lot of these calls where we're late are all first thing in the morning. And there just happens to be a lot of calls for whatever reason from that 8 a.m. time to 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Time. But that's for the entire county that we're servicing.
So then that's a good time for us to have a truck closer to us.
Correct. So we look at, I look at these, and there's 4 that were, between 8 AM and, the 8 AM hour, 1 in the 9 AM, 1 in the 10 AM, and then the others were in the afternoon. Nothing overnight, nothing early evening. We'll have, 7 ambulances on the road overnight, and we'll do 2-3 calls with 7 ambulances, so. We certainly don't see a lot of issues on the overnights. Obviously, we've had some issues with weather. This happens every year between, December to March. So it's very common for us to have, some delayed responses because of that.
Well, and a lot of what we see, Bill, and I don't know if you could second this, but what we seem to see a jump in is simply lift assist at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question. Some ambulance companies, we have a lot of older people in Columbia Township, so naturally they are the ones that will probably be using the ambulance, but they have a program that they can buy for the year where they pay. Do you guys have something like that?
Yes, we do. We have, not only do we have a membership for the year, but the last I knew, we had a membership that'll get you a lifeline too.
What's that run?
Membership is $40.
Now, that's any ambulance ride?
So it is any medically necessary ambulance ride. So if somebody calls us to take them to Walmart, that's not covered.
No, I understand that. No, I'm talking about.
Yep. So if it's for even dialysis, cancer treatment, that's covered by for that ambulance. So they have a medical need for an ambulance. Any trip to the hospital, to the emergency room, as long as it's a covered service by the insurance, then it's covered under the membership program. And that $40 covers the entire household.
The entire household?
Person, yeah. So if there's a family of 6, all living in the same house, all family members are covered on that $40 rate. And it's also a flat rate. We don't charge a separate rate for insured
now, how do you get
uninsured.
that?
What's that?
How do you get that?
We can actually drop off some membership pamphlets for you.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, and then they can call our office as well and get set up. But we can definitely drop some off.
That would be.
I changed vehicles now, otherwise I had 20 of them in my vehicle tonight. Sorry.
It would be good to have here during our commodity distribution too, during that time.
In addition to that, they also get discounted transportation for non-emergency transportation, like wheelchair van service, stuff like that. If they're wheelchair bound and need to go somewhere, they get discounted service for that.
Thank you.
Moving forward, supervisor's report. Well, we got some spring clean coming up. We initially set it for the first part of April, but we've changed the date so we can coincide with our jail crew. Spring cleanup is going to be April 22nd through the 29th. Come and see Rhonda for some orange trash bags and free dump passes. Free dump is going to be April 27th. The Boy Scouts are committing to us for cleanup on the 29th. The jail crew will be here April 30th and May 1st to pick up these orange trash bags and any of the garbage that's been noted by the deputy that needs to be picked up. So we've got that going, and we have several projects that we've been talking about at our budget, which is some outside lighting needs to be fixed and repaired, some safety updates on the building, some handicapped updates on our front door, township properties for sale that we've been working on. And Rhonda's been working on a welcome packet from we'll pass that on to the board to look at and for their next meeting. Blight, we've been working heavy on Blight. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate all your help. Road plans for 3 and 5 years. Our road committee's been working on that, and I hear it's pretty close for the board to take a look at and approve. Hopefully by next month we'll have that ready to approve.
I would hope so, yeah.
The blight letters, they've been really effective. I've had several requests from different property owners to me to come and talk to them, and I've done that, and that's been a real good thing that they've enjoyed, appreciated. Community event, I guess we've got some community events coming up. Our community for events has been working on too. We got one in May. Rhonda, can you give me a date on that? Is that May yard sale?
May 25th, which is a Saturday, from 9 to 5 is a community yard sale here.
Community what?
Yard sale.
Oh, garden sale.
Yep. So if you want to purchase a space for $20 and bring your items to sell.
What, on the garden sale, you're talking about?
Yard
sale.
Yard sale.
Oh, yard
Like
sale.
a garage sale.
Yeah.
And then we received, thanks, Rhonda. We received a FOIA appeal from Mr. Spicer. I've asked for a 10-day extension, and I'll bring that to the board and let them also look at that. And that's all I have at this time. Stacy?
Okay, for March and April, attended, special board meetings and worked on our budget, which, we had to do a lot of workshops on. This month I got all the resolutions ready for our fiscal year for our March meeting. Completed minutes, the synopsis, notice, postings, payroll, invoices, filing, all the quarterly reports. I believe we're already into our first quarter already. Our regular monthly reports that have to be filed. I completed online mandatory election assignments and are currently working on North Lake Special Assessment District. And happy Easter to everyone. Well, I finally got through my busiest time of the year and settled out with the county treasurer's office for the 2018 property tax election. When we met before, we had talked about, we had set money aside for the MTA conference for April, but we wound up not going to that. On the 6th, 4 of us were here for the public hearing for North Lake SAD that Stacy just mentioned. And I did sit in on the planning commission meeting for a public hearing that will be on the agenda yet tonight for how that went. Other than that, cash balances and check register are available on the back table if you want it, and if we ran out, we can get you extra copies.
Thank you. Beverly, oh, no, I'm sorry, John, Neighborhood Watch.
Well, on Neighborhood Watch, now we're coming into the springtime, and you heard me ask, Jason, how many break-ins are, and that's what Neighborhood Watch is all about, people. We have the lowest crime rate of any, township in Van Buren County, and the reason for that is because the Neighborhood Watch is functional. There are a lot of places that have the sign, but they don't have the Neighborhood Watch anymore. And, the difference between our Neighborhood Watch and the National Neighborhood Watch is they say now that you can do Neighborhood Watch from your phone. Well, certainly the phone is an excellent thing to have pictures and take pictures of, but we say verify. Too many times people are taking pictures and pictures and pictures, and then something's coming out and it's completely wrong. So when we do it the old-fashioned way, watch, observe, report, and verify. So that's what we preach. And anybody that joins Neighborhood Watch needs to come to the monthly meetings, because like last month we had distracted texting and driving. And some of the statistics on that are awful, just awful. And the 20 to 24 group is the largest offenders. And we have, school now is having graduations, they're having proms, and those kids are gonna be driving. And so we want the schools to have a course on distracted texting and driving. So that's one of the things we're pushing for. Then my next meeting, what's the first Thursday? Who's got the calendar? Okay.
That's beginning of April, first Thursday, what, May probably?
Right, yeah.
Second.
The second, that will be my monthly meeting. I have a new treasurer, but he has not been formally installed, and that would happen at that meeting. In other words, before I can go to the bank and write a check for Neighborhood Watch on that account, it takes two names. It takes my name and the treasurer's name, and now that's gonna change. So the bank will then want his picture and his identification to show on that account. And that's what will occur at my meeting in May. We will then accept him as our treasurer. And, there's not a lot that happens with the account that has the Neighborhood Watch. I mean, if I write 4 checks a year, I'm lucky. But at the same time, you've got to have checks and balances. And if the treasurer's not there to give you that, then you're kind of behind the 8 ball and you can only assume. So we're not gonna be in any assuming anymore. The expense will be made, the thing will get signed, and it goes into that month's report, is how I do it. So that, I invite you to come to that meeting, and you're gonna have, like I mentioned to Jason, you're gonna have all of your Lake Association meetings coming up, and it's important for them to know how much they are protected by what goes on here. As you heard, he had nobody broken into, and that's because they did what they were told. They gave him their name, they gave him their address, and then when they go to Florida, they have to give him that information, so they're covered. But if somebody gets broken into, and they're not on that list, and they're not part of Neighborhood Watch, not much I can do. So we always preach, join the Neighborhood Watch. On the cemeteries, I made a motion that we install a veteran celebratory flag in Grand Junction West. And that would be a 20-foot flagpole, a 4x6 flag, and they will be in honor of all of the veterans that are buried in Thompson, Grand Junction East, and Grand Junction West. On Memorial Day, we don't have a ceremony here, and I'm with the Legion, and we're very busy naturally. I'm with Bangor, so they have theirs, and South Haven has theirs, and others have theirs. So we don't have them because we don't, and Regional has theirs. We don't have they don't have the time to be going like this to all those different occasions, and I thought the least we can do is put a flag up there and raise and lower that flag as needed. So that will also go on the agenda in May. And that's about it for me.
Thank you, John. Beverly. Okay, this is for the Planning Commission. Our meeting was last week. We had a public hearing. We had 2 items on the agenda for the public hearing. The first was the application of Old Dune Farms for special land use, a commercial marijuana grow facility. We were provided with a pre-qualification letter from Lara, a site plan, and a confidential security plan. We reviewed those ahead of the meeting. We had them actually a couple weeks ahead of time. And all of the requirements for the special land use were met. The application was approved to send to the board, which is on the agenda later tonight. We also approved to send to tonight's meeting the ZBA ordinance proposed text amendment to Article 6, Section 6.03, and Section 6.04. The final version of Section 5 of the master plan was presented and approved. The review of Section 6 was started. And last but not least on the agenda, or on the report, is a special thanks to Leslie Elrod and Chrissy Case for their time and expertise. What we do is we review these sections of the master plan during our meeting, kind of hash it out, and then they take it home. They've formed an ad hoc committee, and they do reviewing and flesh out the little details, and then bring back a finished kind of final version for us to approve or lot of work and time goes into that, and we appreciate that.
Has everybody had an opportunity to look at everything in the consent agenda, previous minutes and expenditures? So I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Any additions or corrections to the agenda? We are going to add, under G, approval of purchasing of the 3 tablets for the fire department. I also want to consider our road work approval, and, do we need to put, the FOIA?
Yes.
Okay, and also the FOIA as I. Anybody else have anything else that needs to be added at this time?
The only thing I would wonder about is the lady that said that she would give X amount of money to put a pavilion back here. Now, time's passing by, and the good weather's coming up, so what's the next move?
My recollection is they were going to talk as a family a little bit more and get some pricing, and they can't do it until fall. They wouldn't actually
Oh, they can't
build
do it until fall. Okay. I did not know that. Okay.
We have a motion to accept this agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Linda, yes. This time I'm going to give a 3-minute comment from the board on anything that's been discussed up to now. Anybody? Moving forward to our unfinished business, we have none. New business. Consideration of our special use permit for the Old Dune Farms. Has everybody had an opportunity to take a look at that?
Yeah.
It looks like the planning commission has stated that they've met all specifications of the application. Do I have a motion to accept this?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Do I have a second? Any discussion?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I would just like to add for clarification to the audience, because at the public hearing, some of the people there were 2 people that showed up that weren't in favor of the approval. And one of them seemed to think that what was up on the agenda was the question of allowing medical marijuana in the township, and that's not the case. This is a special land use permit we've already allowed, and this is their permit to,
Expand.
get their building right, everything that they need to do to use, to get the special use being in the agricultural zoning district, which is one of the only districts allowed by the state.
Right.
So, and they did meet all the requirements. I think they were unhappy when the planning commission approved the application, but there was nothing to do but approve, because the application was in order, the requirements were met.
That's similar to what I was gonna say also, is that in fairness to the people here that were not at the meeting, yes, there was some objection, but the main point of it was whether or not they met the criteria that had been laid out, and they did, so.
And I would like to say over and above as far as meeting the conditions.
Anybody else have a comment on this one? So all in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Motion passes. Adjustment to our budget.
What adjustment?
We need to make a couple adjustments here. So with our fire department budget, on the capital computer software, we're gonna take $450 and make sure we apply that. I don't think we're gonna have to move it. I think we're just gonna make sure it gets applied to that as well. But we do need to adjust for the usage, which we have, 2,200 for the station phones. And so as I do believe Stacy indicated that was for the landlines and the cell phones, which we've allocated 2,200, but we need to increase that by 1,800, I think is what we calculated. Yeah. And that's to do 12 months at $150 extra for the extra tablet. That would be on that, so we need to increase that.
That would be again what for? What line are you looking at?
We are looking at, station phones.
So instead of 3, we get the
Okay,
phone.
922. We need to increase that, up to $1,800 to cover that, those extra costs.
And I'm showing that already at 2,200.
Right.
Are you saying you're adding, not,
We're gonna add, because we're adding 3 tablets, that's coming
okay,
in.
1,800 did you say?
Yeah, exactly, 800.
And you're
Make
going,
it a total of
4,000 even.
4,000,
you're going with another tablet.
we're doing 3.
We're incorporating the funds into the fire budget that we just are possibly gonna approve for,
The tablet,
yes, for the tablets for the
okay,
fire department.
okay.
And then we were also looking at the dump site, possibly having to,
We're back on the page, that's under the
page
general.
4, the general, page 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make note of all these. Did you take, as far as the fire, because you're switching to the dump.
Yeah.
For the fire, are we taking that 1,800 from something else, did you say? I mean, we're adding it to one line. Are we taking it off somewhere else, or we're just adding it?
We're just gonna add it at this point, because they have enough in their funds left over.
Because it's affordable, we're doing that. I just wanted to be clear that we're not just shifting.
No,
Okay.
I'm not shifting.
Okay.
Dave may give me.
I'll find somewhere to shift it from and have it to you next month, if that's
Okay.
acceptable.
So you would rather.
Yeah,
have it
I don't wanna add anything to it.
Yeah, okay.
And then, our dump site, since we've had some major repairs, looks like our major repairs is gonna fall okay, like in the capital outlay, which is on page 4.
You're talking about the contractor now.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to explain to the people the differences in what we were shown and what we decided to do.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, yeah.
What was it that, I just wanna bring it, because we thought we were gonna have to adjust, budget on that, and looking at it, I think it's gonna fall under the outlay, because of the major.
Right.
Because it was
And it's under that
in the
amount.
first place.
And it's under that amount.
So we don't have to adjust, that's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Right,
Okay.
I just wanted to
So
make
that
sure
covers
that-
it.
Right. So, the only adjustments that we need to do is the fire adjustment. So, do we have a motion to make those adjustments to the fire?
I make a motion for the adjustment to the fire.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Motion passes. Consideration of the fire liaison. Our past supervisor had appointed a fire liaison. At this time, I'm going to make a motion that we dismiss that fire liaison, as we have 4 officers within our fire department that should be able to handle things, and if that, we need to address that later, we can do that. So I'd like to make a motion to expand, or to disband our fire liaison.
I'll second that.
Do you have any discussion on that?
Is the fire department in agreement with it? Do they feel like, I mean, I feel like they should be able to, but do you feel like you can?
I thought that position was cumbersome at best.
So you can.
To be there, if we had a fire board, and then each, if we had a fire board and there were the Breedsville Village, and we had Grand Junction Village if it was incorporated, and we had the township, and we had maybe half of another township, then the position might be warranted. But for me to report to someone, to report to you, if they change one word of what I say, then it's not what I said, and it's not what was intended. So I never agreed with that position in the first place.
Well, you're a fire chief, we should have complete faith in you.
So.
Right, and I know that you, have benefited from some help on budgeting, but there's no reason you couldn't continue that, correct?
Right.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Motion passes. So, John, you were talking about the compactor. So, we thought originally, we thought that there are employees from the transfer station thought it was the electrical. We had that checked out. It
Tell them how
was
old
not
it
the
is.
electrical.
Tell them how old it is.
It is 16 years old. The compactor is 16 years old. Life expectancy is about 20 years. But we've been doing really good. CN has not had any repair.
We've been lucky.
Major issues or repairs, or no monthly review.
Oh, monthly maintenance.
Maintenance, that's what I'm looking for, sorry. Hasn't had any maintenance done to it in 16 years, so we're lucky it's only been just one major thing that's happened. And that was the motor did go out. The company that makes these products came out and actually looked it all over, serviced it, checked the motor. It was the motor. They replaced it with a new motor. And so they're saying that it would be in our best interest if we had a service contract in which they are willing to provide that service contract at $300 periodically. It's either twice a year or once a year at our discretion, what we would like to have. There's also a checklist that I provided for you guys on what they do cover on the maintenance.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
They will look, this is everything that they check on that, and if there's any recommendations for repairs or safety problems, they'll report that back to us, and we can make a decision on what we would like to do at that point. But I said we could get away with doing it once a year.
Well, we have so far.
Well, I would say this is a good beginning, because it's crazy that we haven't had any
That was very
regular
fortunate.
maintenance, and we might want to plan ahead for, how much was it?
It's gonna be $300.
No, I mean, how much was the initial purchase, and that was 13 years ago.
Yeah, it was $22,000 or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
Now,
was,
to
yeah.
buy a brand new compact, I'm looking at $40,000 to $50,000 is what I was quoted.
We might want to start thinking about that as a, in the future kind of thing that we need to do.
So, keep a
Yeah,
contract, service contract going, just so we can keep this thing running.
like changing the oil, that's the way to make the car last.
I'll make a motion to approve the maintenance contract, E-Brake.
I'll second.
Did we say what period though? Like, is that annual or what?
We would say
I say
that.
twice a year, if we're gonna, if they can,
I go
for that
before
price,
winter,
I'd
definitely.
use it for twice instead of once, if they're offering us twice for that price.
Oh, I
Every
thought
time
it's
they come
each
out,
time.
each time it's $300.
Each time they come out, it's $300.
Right, and
Okay, so, all right, so then once,
once a
then,
year.
yeah, okay, all right.
once a year. So you're making a
Once
motion
in
that
the
we
spring,
have,
once in
like,
the
come
fall.
once a year? Is that what your motion is?
Yeah.
And that's for the routine maintenance, and they may find issues that we need to address.
Right.
Right, and we could increase the frequency if we think so, if they start finding stuff wrong.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor, Beverly?
Oh, but I need a second, who seconded? That person?
John did.
Okay.
Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes.
Well, we're still on the, thinking about the dump really quickly, maybe we want to, maybe this company could help advise us on on what it would take to get a ramp there that has been requested before.
we don't wanna go through that.
They might be the best people to start with to get information, because we don't.
They probably see a lot of sunburn.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Well, we getting that extra bin?
Yeah, we got one out there,
Okay.
right, extra dumpster for, well, we did, but now we might not need it because it's been fixed. or they-
Well, we have
we're
an
gonna
extra
take-
dumpster just for the
I
27th.
was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
Quicker
keep
than I
it
thought
up.
about that.
Yeah, for the 27th, since we have that extra dump. Okay, let's move forward. We've also talked about doing, scanning our documents and making them digitized so that we make sure that, they're still available, provided we have a fire or something like that, or another tornado, that our records don't get totally destroyed. Okay. I'm glad you're coming.
We had our one time.
Yeah. So we did get a quote from our computer guy, Roy's Repair, to get a scanner, to have our records scanned in. We've had this quote for a few days since our budget meeting. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we go forward and purchasing and scan the documents.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
It's just important to note that the equipment on its own will do nothing, that there's labor that's gonna be associated with this, and it could be a lot of time invested, so.
I just could start out slow and not.
And I'd like to add to that, if not now, it's
Oh,
one
right.
of those things, if we don't
Right.
start, it's.
Yep, it's just that
We
this
don't know
is
what'll
the cost
happen.
all by itself.
Right.
All I'm saying, there's more to it than that, but, it seems a step in the right direction.
Like my husband said, the laundry doesn't do itself.
So in discussion, I just want to quote the price that was given to us of $575 for the scanner and the labor to install.
And where would we put that? I don't know how big it is.
No, it's one that scans from the top of the thing.
Okay. We'll find her.
Yep.
The server room?
Yeah.
Is this the scanner we're talking about?
Yes.
What, the original thing we talked about, scanning all these materials and stuff like that, is that what we?
Yes.
Oh.
In fact, you've got a shift for that. We've got you slotted to come in and do some of that.
I run the what?
Just
if you wanna-
John, just say yes.
If you want a Twitter, you watch a horror show, if you want to tweet by canary, that's all I can say.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yeah.
Stacy?
Yes.
Linda, yes, motion passes. The next item is, we also discussed in our budget to update our router because it needs to be reset frequently, and it's a little outdated. So I would like to, our quoted price is $842 to have, secured gateway access point wireless throughout the building and bring it up to date. I'd like to make a motion to accept this bid for $842.
Well, what's a router do, make maps?
So you can get your internet anywhere in the building.
Internet.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Mm-hmm.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Motion passes. Last thing is, the approval of the purchase of the 3 tablets for the fire trucks. I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and make that purchase.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
But what was the, sorry, the exceed price on that gonna
Yeah.
be? We had something.
Yeah, we hit that,
Four fifty, could we just put 500, just in case there's,
Not to exceed 500? Any other discussion? All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
And yes, motion passes. Road work approval.
Now, what are we, I hope we have road.
So we got a program sheet for our seal coat and our deburming. I have maps here if you guys have questions. So our seal coat roads are going to be 52nd to County Road 3 to 24th. That's 1 mile. 54th Street to County Road 380 baseline, that's 1.2. 14th Avenue to 56th Avenue to County Road 215, that's 1.2.
Yeah.
Silver Lake Road to County Road 215, so that's 52nd.
What are we doing on Silver Lake Road?
This is steel
Seal
coat.
coat.
Is this a good lead?
Well, yeah, that's what the intention is with steel coat right now, we're staying there, so we don't have to go back and do it again.
Right, and then the 52nd, I have the 1.14 mile, and then all of the certified roads in Grand Junction and town here, all the certified roads are by the County Road Commission, which is 1.15, and the total on that is $97,272.50. And then at the same time, you might want to do this separate. So let's do this one first, the seal coat.
And is that all from our funds, or is that shared funds?
It can be from either. There's a percentage that we can use on our shared funds or 1 mil funds, which we've got 115,000 in there that we can use some of that. So I would like to make the motion that we accept the seal coat program sheet for the $97,272.50.
I'll second that. It's for our 2019 season.
Any discussion?
Just like to ask if our road committee knows about this and then.
These are the stretches of road that Dave and I had come up with for this year's work.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
And yes, motion passes. And the second part of that is the deburming program sheet. And these would be on the same roads, taking down, correct me if I'm wrong, Doug, the trees and the debris alongside of the roads and the ditching.
No, just the gravel shoulder or the side shoulder. When your road comes down and then when you hit the grass, it usually is built up like that. They cut that side off so that the water can get off the road out into the grass and to the ditches.
Okay.
They'll take a grader and go
So yeah, it's
along.
right along the edge of the pavement when they just kind of do that whole off there.
Yeah,
Well,
couple foot. They'll go along with a grader and cut it off out into the road, and then they got a machine that comes along and picks that windrow dirt up into a truck, and then they sweep the road. And what a lot of townships are doing, and it sounds like you are also, is doing the roads that they're gonna seal coat.
Right.
And you can have any others done. If you got problems where water is setting on a road or something, it's usually because that berm is built up, it needs to be cut off.
Silver Lake, another good example of that. They've got so much sand built up around the end of that Lake Tune Road, there's just puddles, puddles there. Ponding, I shouldn't, sorry, ponding,
Yeah.
so bad. They can't even get off the road.
So do you guys make recommendations as you're driving around and you see that? Do you report to Linda and let her know, hey, we think this road over here is building up on the sides or whatever?
Well, we go through Greg, we let Greg communicate directly with the board.
But somebody.
Yeah, and I think Greg is probably got with you and did a road tour this spring.
So at this point, these are the roads, the same roads that we are having our snow coats on. And the total price on that is $11,193 to have those two roads. $11,193. This is also shared funds as well, maybe we can use that as well. So I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and accept the development program sheet too.
I'll second.
Any other discussion on that? All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Motion passes. Oh, yeah.
Were you even aware there was one? A FOIA appeal?
Discussion on FOIA?
Yeah, basically, per our policy, those are supposed to come forward at our regular meeting. And I don't know that you brought anything today. Okay. We should all see such things and have that discussion of how we go forward on those. And I'd like to make a motion that anytime there's a FOIA appeal, an OMA challenge, or anything that might hint at a possible lawsuit, that we share that with our township attorney immediately.
Absolutely.
And the full board within 48 hours. We should all be notified.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows the appeal, I had a FOIA request come in from Ken Spicer. He was requesting the checks, copies of the checks, and the invoices to go with the checks for the Saddle Lake Association District. There was, let's see, there were like 25 checks. It was from number 1070 to number 1095 that he was requesting.
What time span did that?
Like 2014, was it?
Yeah, I think it was 2014. That's when those checks, I think, were written. So anyway, I went back and I found, I've got his documents for him, except for two of them, I had to go back and do some deeper digging, and I found them for him. And he was just claiming that, I was late on getting him the FOIA request, that I didn't get on it the day that he sent the email to the FOIA coordinator. It's under my understanding, per our other older attorney that we used to have, that the request would start when the FOIA coordinator would open that email. And that's the time frame that I worked with and got it done within, and now he was feeling it wasn't done timely, and that those couple other documents, two other invoices weren't in there, so we've now
will be beyond your point.
gotten those.
It will be beyond you. You know, there was a mistake made, you did what you were supposed to do.
Right, yes, to the best of my ability and to the best of my knowledge, yes, I fulfilled his request. So that's what that is all about.
Right.
So I'd like to see new updates to the FOIA law and compare those to our policy before we make any changes, and just make sure we're all up to date, because I know there are a few changes with the FOIA law.
And we're gonna have Catherine review that, because
Yes.
I think that you're doing an excellent job. That, I know you guys try really hard, and I think you're doing a great job. Just with things like this, I would rather have,
Here on the side of caution.
have our attorney involved, and, because God forbid something should go wrong, you don't want to be the one that made some mistake.
And they're in the MTA guidelines.
It's the FOIA laws that we have to go by now.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the laws.
Okay.
Right.
So I would like to get all that in place and have it ready before we make any changes on what we do.
But we can at least make a motion that the attorney gets it right away. And that,
She normally does, yeah.
this time it didn't happen.
But I've been having trouble with my email as well.
Okay. She got it from Ken.
She should have done it.
He sent it a copy.
Well, let's put that on, are you making a motion, Karen?
I'm making a motion that we immediately, whether it's a FOIA appeal, OMA challenge, anything like that, that might be the beginning of
Do
a
we need to add in
potential.
that too, that we're addressing his tonight? Is it,
I think so. I think we have to at least acknowledge it tonight.
well, yes, I'm wondering, you wanna roll that into your motion, or do you wanna make it, do we wanna?
They're kind of separate, because one's more of a policy statement to just make sure
Okay.
So what do we got?
that it be shared with the attorney immediately in the full board within 48 hours.
I got it.
So that's the motion.
So on this motion, sorry, that's your motion?
Yes.
Do you have a second?
I will second that.
All in favor? Visually? Oh, wait, no discussion here.
I think it's a good idea to have these things in writing because it'll help guide future boards too. I don't think that we had enough things like this to guide us when we came along.
And we would eventually like to get our insurance back.
Is that too bad?
So,
We have to be very careful. This is
so on that note of getting it to the board members as well, within 48 hours, I want to also make sure that we don't do any kind of response back to whoever's sending it, no comment
right,
whatsoever.
right.
It's just a read only, do not comment
It's
back.
just so that the board knows.
Yeah.
Do not comment back on it at all.
Right, no,
Right.
Anybody.
reply back.
Any other discussion?
Yes. I'm sorry. I just had a thought. I wonder if Roy could set up, if there's a way to use email where, so like I have this account with this place that they send me these no reply informational emails. So even if I try to reply, it wouldn't go to anyone else. Could we set up something like that to keep someone from making a mistake and replying to an email that,
Well, if you use blind copy, that's built in.
okay,
If you try to do reply all, it doesn't go.
okay.
So there are ways to do that. Now, does this apply to all FOIAs or just the appeal?
I was only thinking it was necessary once there's an appeal, because that's kind of a trigger. A FOIA is a standard practice.
But I still think that the board should know immediately if there is, just in case we do get an appeal. I think that we should do both.
I don't know how cumbersome that is, so let's
Just
get
a
comment from the clerk on that.
Just a quick email.
But that's what we're going for.
Get their attention back.
So that's the,
Stacy?
I'm sorry,
I said, I think you need to do it for both a regular FOIA and an appeal. Whenever one comes in through email, that all the board members get emails so that we know that there is a FOIA out there. And then go from there. I think both of them should be done, not just one, not just the appeal process. So if you get a FOIA by email.
Oh, I understand, I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Because then now that's just more work.
It would
Cross
be
my
an
mind
email.
again, that,
Then you should be able to forward, blind copy forward it.
well, it depends on how it comes in. Sometimes they don't always come in right.
Just the ones that come in email. Is what it is. Not by mail, but just the email.
The board can vote on it.
Any other discussion?
So that is added in the motion then?
I don't think it's the same motion.
Oh, okay.
So she added to
I'm
yours.
losing it now.
Okay, I'm gonna add two names.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Why are we doing it that way? Instead of two separate
We can do
motions?
two separate things, doesn't matter. However you guys wanna do it.
I'd like to take the one that was introduced and second already
Okay.
and
All
deal
in
with that
favor?
first.
Beverly?
Yes.
John?
yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Lydia? Now let's make a motion to include all electronic FOIAs to be forwarded within the 48 hours to all board members. And do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
I am just wondering, are we talking about 10 or 100, or give me some idea of how,
I don't think she gets that many.
well, I'm asking her, she knows.
I've never seen that many things in this. I've had ones for a lot of document requests, but not hundreds, really.
Just the fact that you received one of these. So, discussion? All in favor? Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
It'll pass. Come back to me.
Can't do it. That's enough, why not?
We can go out of order.
Stacy?
No.
Linda, yes. Karen?
What is the,
Motion passes.
John?
Vote. Right? Yeah, okay. Any other motions or addings that we need to do in the plan?
as far as dealing with the one tonight,
As far as tonight from Ken's question,
have you already responded?
I responded with an extension, asking for an extension of 10 days, so we can get the proper documents. I needed time to talk to Stacy to make sure there was any other documents. And we had that discussion. And she found the two documents, which was forwarded if you have not read it. And I will forward you guys a copy of that. So, for the record, we did receive the appeal. It was answered and asked for an extension for 10 days. There's extra documents back. We got it up to another 6 months to get him any other documents on the FOIA FAC. And I will forward you to like a copy of
Right, and it needs to attach it.
Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna move forward. Any public comments this time?
So we didn't need to do any motion or anything on that? We're looking at just recognize that she's accepted.
Any comments, public? Board comments, Beverly?
I always go first. Oh, I just wanted to make a quick comment that, Kate, you didn't get to hear it the other night, you had already left the meeting, but, someone at the meeting had made a comment, and, they had said something about, well, these people that haven't even lived here that long, and I just wanted to say that our new residents should be welcomed into the community. If we didn't have new residents, our community would continue to shrink. A lot of our residents come from out of state. It's just a fact of life because of the geography we have, the beauty we have that attracts people here. And they bring with them, they add to our growth, they add to our tax revenue, they bring with them, they add to our culture. They tend to aesthetically improve the township because for the most part, I don't see a lot of problems with blight with our newer residents who seem to be a lot of people of a certain age, and, you know, we have different phases in our life. But I just wanted to remind anyone who is a longtime resident that we're here for the same reason you are. It's because we love this place. We live here too. We want to take care of it. And it's also our community, and we would like to be welcomed and treated like it's our community because we've invested our most of us that have relocated here have invested what we have in life, whatever equity we've gathered or whatever, and invested into a home. And, I know as far as I'm concerned, and many people, this is our permanent home. It's not just a vacay spot. So that's my board comment for the night, and happy Easter also.
John?
Well, I'd just like to say on Neighborhood Watch, that's a selling point. In other words, you talk to the new people coming in, and, well, why do you have Neighborhood Watch? You got problems? No, we have a Neighborhood Watch because we don't have problems. And, when we were recognized by the state as the #1 visually active, that's the key, then that was a great, comment to this township, that just little old Columbia Township in the whole state of Michigan is recognized as #1. That was a pretty big comment, and, all us Republicans put our arms around the Democrats, so she was the governor at the time, and it was really, we really appreciated it. So that you would talk to people, that's something you can do.
Thank you, John. Karen?
Well, I don't want to take anything away from Neighborhood Watch, but I do want to say that I'm very glad that Jason was recognized tonight for everything they do, including all those property checks and everything that he does. So, thank you.
I'll second that.
Well, I think our little township is growing. And I think our workloads are growing. I think our people are gonna need more, and I don't think we're gonna stop growing. I think the board ought to start looking at full-time positions around this township. There's too much work to be done, to be doing it on part-time job schedules.
And I just wanted to say thank you guys for all your input tonight. Just remind everybody we got spring cleanup coming up.
What I'd like to see on that, statement that you got for the, next hearing, or no, for the North Lake, I'd like that out there on that bulletin board. That, she did a lot of work on that. I mean, that's a big thing. And a lot of times I'm getting feedback, well, I'm not here when you see me jumping, I don't know. Well, we'll stick it on the board out there, and all you gotta do is look at it.
Are we talking about?
Yes.
Marty Russ.
Yes.
The wooden one?
The North Lake
The wooden, yes,
public hearing
right.
you're referring to.
Yes, I'm talking about the public hearing for North Lake.
Was that on there,
Which
Marty?
board are you talking about?
The one out there.
The wooden board, not.
Right out here, yeah.
Where the hot
Right.
cakes
The
are.
lake, yeah.
Yeah, that whole side's empty, so that, and that's a long thing.
Oh, you're talking about the wooden.
Talking about
Yes,
the
I'm
wooden
sorry,
cake.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the wood
Gotcha,
one.
John.
We got the room out there,
Yeah, that would be a good spot.
and whatever, we got stuff like that, just bam, put it on there, and then they can't say anything.
And there was
Yeah, we were
some
waiting for it
work
to be-
still being done
Yeah.
on
And it's
that.
finished.
Yeah,
Do you
yes,
know
and
if
now,
it's like
Yes.
done?
Oh, when then I got stuff to do too.
Oh. Okay, so it's not ready, really,
Not
or
totally.
Not quite ready.
if you
John,
put
but
things
it
out
needs
there
to
now,
go
we'd have to move them back and forth, so maybe it's a little.
Right,
Oh,
right.
you told me it was done.
Well, he just did some more work to it, and Linda and I agreed on putting corkboard out there, so.
All right.
Do I have to make a motion to adjourn this meeting?
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second it.
Second one.
Did the public have their chance? 'Cause the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, no idea.
We're good. I get home, watch the FBI. Oh, it's always bad. What I deal with. This was better
Try the fire department first.
Thanks.
So you're on to your next step.
On to my next, yes.
State now?
All the inspections, for building, electric,
Yes.
mechanical, and
Way.
state.
Both ways. Both ways.
All right.
Was there originally?
Because I have to.
But then both
Instead of.
still.
Right.
And they took the.
Both ways. All right.
Oh, yeah.
29th, I'll bring it up Thursday night, 4:30, 5 o'clock.
This is unofficial, right? I think I need, I need
Oh, okay.
So, I will look at it.
The 29th work?
Yeah. And this is a, 2 months. I want you to get some. 10 days, I'm just trying to get.
When is it?
Friday.
Yeah,
I don't know.
4:30.
Yeah, that would be.
So I just told you can't go anywhere right now. No, I'm gonna go find that out right now.
My guy was fire department.
That's what I was kind of going at.
Yellow fire talking.
And I'm coming here, stop recording, because it's in the morning.
I forgot about exactly.
It's not my visit yet.
There's like this one.
I notify them. I know there's a sign.
Red and it's got some metallic. We always use HVAC ductwork stuff.
As soon as you grab a car.
And I said, if I know what time it is, then I will try. Don't fast it.
No, yeah, but we can charge kids for what the people
Yeah,
are
we'll
doing.
get over Friday about 4.
That's what I'm wondering, why are you sticking so close to me? Like,
I was trying to get in line on that fire. We all went over the HVAC.
I was already more around. They made it commercial purchase where I.
And then he makes stuff all right.
This doesn't stick to your tag, it's actually a really dry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Because that is the issue.
Yeah, but I mean, if you put it right up there, you're not really doing accomplishing.
But that could be room.
Yeah.
That could be room.
We need
I
to have
don't
clear
know.
understanding.
I'll get a line on that call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because he's being evicted.
And that trailer is sitting.
Here you are, Leslie.
I will.
I know you will.
Say, how dead do I want to be?
Nothing for.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I would have heard from her.
Hey, that probably would kill me.
Hey, now watch how you
We
say
should
that.
go for an incident.
Yeah, I don't get a operator.
Figures out, you laugh.
And I never seen more until recently. The person that called me, I was like, yeah, they're being kicked out.
What's
But I
wrong
don't
with
know. In the process,
What's
they are
that?
being kicked out, they're more
I'm just
fighting it, or they're just.
I know it.
Because he told me the first time.
I gotta get him.
And then a lot of that determines on if he can get the judge suckered into, oh, I got a hardship and I need a little more, and I need a little more time. Because there was a guy over on 8th Avenue, he got 3 months worth of extension. I think it's.
So they must be buying that online.
No, they were renting it, okay, they were renting it from their daughter and Mike, who was her husband.
Right.
And then what happened was, they didn't have money, so they didn't pay.
Among
So
other
then,
things, yeah.
that's the one that I told you,
Project
she
at
threw
work.
herself.
I figured it was gonna go by
Trying to get them thrown in jail. But then, we all went there and they said, okay,
I used to
that
travel
didn't
a lot.
happen. Well, then they sent them to the first notice. They didn't even have the right